Nate, this is kind of Pandora's box. Every time we make a game is hard to make video, you have the armchair game developers show up in droves like, well, actually, here's how you do this, and you're a big dumb idiot. Are you a real gamer? I've really seen those comments.
Right.
We're talking people with a lot of time on their hands.
Yeah,
here.
like me.
Yeah, exactly. On your alt accounts.
Exactly.
But if we say something, would maybe be a little easier to make design-wise, we get the opposite. Like, oh, you guys don't know all the hundreds and hundreds of hours that go into game development. So, like, I guess we just have to make videos why it would be moderately okay to make. And, like, just hit a centrist middle ground where no one will argue with
not
us.
even add anything to the discussion either.
Yeah, it would be neat. Okay, video's
there
done.
we go.
So here's the thing. We are talking about Captain America today and why I think it would be very doable to make a Captain America game. We actually saw it back on the PS3 and Xbox 360 era. Captain America Super Soldier. It's a fine game.
Yeah, I think you said that was your favorite game of all time, wasn't it?
Tell them
Beating
that.
out New Vegas?
Shut up. Don't tell them.
Okay.
No, so here's the thing. That game is fine. It did some stuff well, some of it which will be on this list, and it's a competent Captain America game. It's a proof of concept. This will work. Before we hop into it, please be sure to check out the links in the description below. We've been playing through a lot of games on our secondary channel, Degenerate Plays, having a really fun time over there, hanging out with you podcast style, talking about pretty much everything. We hope to see you there. Links are in the description as always. Now, here's the thing with Cap. He is strong, but he's not overpowered. And when I say that, I don't mean that overpowered characters are awful and can't be written well in stories and stuff, but there is a big difference between writing a Superman movie or comic and making a game where you play as Superman. There is a difference there because of just how strong you are. With Cap, he is in this middle ground where he's stronger than normal people by quite a bit, but he's not ridiculous. You can certainly give him threatening enemies very easily.
Right. Yeah, it really helps the challenge aspect to the game. You know, like, for example, if you're Superman and running around, there's not really a lot of challenge. At least there shouldn't be.
Right.
Or else it wouldn't make sense.
If you're just on Earth, yeah. Right. A lot of people have pointed out you could put it in space and all this other stuff, but then you ask, well, is he really Superman out in outer space? I don't know. Yeah, the Cap would be so much easier.
Right. Yeah, with someone like Captain America, he is better than normal people, but it is a lot more doable. Where it's actually more challenging and more fun and not just super strong and it doesn't really make sense.
Yeah, Captain Bulletproof.
Right.
Well, here's the thing about that, too. His weapon would be very interesting for this game because the shield is useful. Obviously, it can block bullets and all kinds of energy weapons and stuff like that, right? But his shield doesn't work if it's not taking the hit. And what I mean by that is, if Captain America has his shield on his back and he gets shot in the chest, he got shot in the chest.
Right.
The shield's not in front of the bullet.
Right.
So when you're using this shield, you are vulnerable from behind.
Mm-hmm.
There is like a give and take on that I think is interesting. If you could program the shield right, too, you could have it where when it's on his back, if he's just punching, right, but the shield's on his back, and someone hits him in the back, it doesn't hurt him.
Right, yeah, except unless they punch him below the shield.
Right. You have to be really targeted with that to get him in the kneecap or something. I don't know, but I think that there's a lot you could do with that shield. You pointed out, too, for combat, just how interesting this could be.
Yeah, there's a lot of different aspects you could do with the shield. Like, I know one of the big things surrounding Captain America is actually how he ricochets his shield off of walls and how he, like, bounces off a floor wall and then actually hits someone. I think there's a lot of different aspects you could do with that. You know, I'm reminded of someone like Deadshot from the Arkham games, how he basically can hit you behind cover because he bounces it off a wall and stuff. But you could do that. You could do that type of concept with Captain America, and I think if you design it well, you could do it pretty good.
Well, it's interesting.
It would be pretty fun.
Yeah, because you could kind of do it how they do pool games in a way, actually. And it's going to sound silly, but billiards or pool,
right?
How you can kind of aim and you see the line and where it's going to bounce off on a lot of these games, at least on mobile and PC. I think you could kind of do that with Cap. If this is a single-player game, you could have it be where he's going to line up the shot and just time stops or slows down and you can see where it's going to go.
Right. Yeah, there's a lot of different things you could do with it, you know, or you could just have it just in his hand, run around and punch people with it, or something.
I think you want to do both.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is an interesting idea. I mean, we did see again. I'm sure I'll be showing the game in this because it's the closest thing we have other than the PS3 one and Xbox 360. In Marvel's Avengers, we do see a lot of this.
Right.
You know, the shield bouncing around and stuff, but you don't have as much control over where it goes.
Right.
So if you could give the player that control, I think it would add more depth to the experience for sure. The next thing we wanted to talk about, though, also is that this game does not require an open world, really at all.
Yeah, probably doesn't.
And by the way, plenty of superhero games probably shouldn't be open world.
Right. Yeah, well, some of them don't really make sense.
No.
You know, for someone like Captain America, what would the open world be? Like him running around New York?
Or World War II, I guess, out on the battlefield. I mean, you could, but it just seems like it'd be unnecessary.
Exactly.
This seems like a character that, again, like the Super Soldier game, as many flaws as it has, this game would benefit from more tightly designed levels, and areas.
Yeah, and depending on... This kind of gets more into the story part, but depending on which kind of era you pick for the game, you could have the hub, like the main hub area be either like the helicarrier, if you're doing like more modern day, or you could have it be like some World War II bunker or base or something like that, and then just kind of pick your levels from there. Maybe like choose to go on missions from there or something like that. But I think just the idea of having a open world doesn't really fit, because like there's nothing really to do that Captain America could do.
Right. I mean, yeah, it's very unnecessary. It's not like Spider-Man where a big part of it is traversal. Captain America's just running and jumping around.
Hey, that'd be pretty interesting.
It's not that he's uninteresting. It's just like, what are you going to do? Drop him in New York and just have him run around, but there's all kind of buildings he can't get up on?
Right.
I don't know. It just
wouldn't make sense.
No, there's no reason. I do want to say, too, in terms of combat, before we get further into story, we did mention combat. Again, with the eras, really the only difference would be if he's in World War II, maybe he has a gun.
Right.
That's about it. I mean, there's not a lot of difference here in what you want to do. So I do think it would work in either one. This also, though, does depend on if you want to do more than one game, because you very easily could do different story things with this and combat things. I mean, the combat, again, it's obviously going to be more in that Spider-Man / Arkham vein. I'm sure there would be some uniqueness to it, but it would definitely be more like that. But if you wanted to do more than one game, you could very easily start this series in World War II, give him a game up to the point where he's frozen, and then wake him up in number 2,
right, and
start in modern day. It would depend on what you want to do with the story. I think that the World War II story is easiest.
Right.
There were very clear bad guys in that. I think, though, that with that, you could very easily just have him go up against the, I'll call them the Yahtzees, because I don't want to get hit by the YouTube algorithm. You could very easily have him go up against there. There's a clear villain. You could go in depth with the villains depending on how far you want to go. I don't think you'd go as far as Wolfenstein does, where it's like, oh my gosh, these guys are like disgustingly evil, because I don't think Marvel would really want to go into that.
Yeah, that'd be kind of dark.
Yeah, like I don't think you're going to go to a camp in this game.
Right.
You do in Wolfenstein. So I don't think we'll go that far. But I think it would be very easy to set up like who the good and bad guys are and work with that in a pretty clear-cut story. The thing with going into modern day is there's some very interesting ideas you could do. I'm not sure how well they would go over, though.
Right.
Because a lot of Captain America modern day is trying to reflect the time that we're in a divisive time that's a little difficult to do without just making everyone mad. You can't just take a center stance, because even though you should be able to, everyone gets mad if you do that.
Right.
If you don't pick like, well, they're good and they're bad, people get angry at you. That's just how we've seen that over and over again. So it's like, what are they going to do? Are they going to talk about, I don't know, American freedoms? Are they going to go into like the terrorism type thing like Cap 2 did a little bit with the US government? Would they go into unrest in America? Well, you know what I'm saying? It's not like they have to do these things, but it's Captain America. They probably would.
Yeah, they could change up the story a little bit and have him come in the 90s and have Captain America participate in the war on drugs.
You could, yeah.
Like, you're an agent for the U.S. government hunting down drug addicts. This would be fun.
It's definitely not a waste of money at all, the war on drugs. Definitely very effective.
Yeah.
It's still going today. It must have been really successful.
Well,
wasn't it supposed to end in like 10 years?
Yeah.
Oh,
I mean, hold on. We didn't have Captain America in the real world.
That's a good point.
It would have ended in about a year.
This will be an alternate history. And
exactly.
If he teamed up with RoboCop could just kill every drug user. Not even the dealers, the users too. Well, that's the thing, though. When you get into modern day, you get into more controversial stuff. Yahtzee's bad is not at all a controversial take.
Right.
With 99.9% of people. And you're probably not going to cater to the 0.01% on that one. Some of this other stuff would be very difficult, I think. I think Captain America, the Winter Soldier, the movie, did a really good job with this, though, because it was able to sidestep political parties and talk about American freedoms with surveillance and stuff. If you could find issues like that that go into Captain America and American rights, I think you could do this very well without having to deal with some of the more sensitive stuff.
Right.
But you also probably could deal with it if you do it well.
Yeah, I think both eras would work.
Yeah.
You know, and you could even do both. Like, you could have, like you said, the first game be in World War II, second game in modern era.
Yeah.
And just have both of them.
The third game in 2099, it's a totally different guy.
You could, yeah. He somehow crashes a plane and freezes again. So
they're like, man, this guy's really bad at flying.
Like, dang.
Yeah,
But,
I don't know. We think this would be a great game. Do you have anything to add to this, Nate? At
yeah,
all?
I guess I do think the World War II one would be a lot more interesting because you could have more interesting characters. Like, you could include the Howling Commandos and have maybe him and Bucky and Dum Dum Dugan.
Dum Dum's everyone's
my
favorite
character.
Yep.
But you could have them all like running around, and there could be a lot of different aspects. You could even have all the other ones be playable too.
Yeah.
Like playing as Cap and Bucky, and maybe like a couple other of the Howling Commandos or something. Or maybe they have missions where, you know, maybe Dum Dum Dugan and whatever that sniper guy's name is go on a mission, and you get to play as them.
That would be awesome. So, do you just want to see a Dum Dum Dugan game?
Yeah. Yeah, disguised as a Captain
Honestly,
America game.
if you really wanted to, the Howling Commandos would be an excellent idea for a game
it'd be
in general.
fun.
Especially, I mean, there's different ways you could do that too, not to get into that, but even like XCOM style, where it's kind of like squad-based and stuff, you could do... There's a lot you could do in World War II. So anyways, let us know what you think in the comments down below. Do you want to see a Captain America game? Not the Avengers. I know some people are going to say, we already got the Avengers. It's not really a Cap game. Would you like to see a game kind of like Super Soldier or something totally different? What are your ideas? Do you think this would be easy to make, difficult? We want to hear your thoughts. Be sure to check out the links in the description. As always, Degenerate Plays is down there. We are growing quickly, and we hope to see you over there hanging out with us, playing some games. We'll see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day, and as always, everybody, stay shway.